Hello everyone and welcome to another game for Wednesday night Warcraft or Warcraft Wednesdays. Yes, today is still August 31st. Decided to do two Warcraft games today as we are gonna have Th000 or Th000 spawning as the purple night elf player. Meanwhile, we are going to have Yumiko spawn as the yellow human. So this is gonna be human versus night elf, and I know what you guys are thinking. I thought Th000 played human. Yes, Th000 or Th000 does in fact play human. But whenever it is going to be a human versus human mirror match, he doesn't like to play human, so instead opting to go for night elf this time. We are going to see this one militia come into position and perhaps try to build a scout farm in just a moment, and then after building that scout farm and be able to pull back. We are getting an Ancient of War down over here. The Ancient of War will be able to eat its way through these trees and clear out this creep camp, and also use an archer to clear out this creep camp. But this is relatively close spawning locations in terms of how they want to creep. So it may be a little bit different, as we are now going to see Yumiko looking to train up that archmage. The archmage. The archmage will come down over here, clear out this with militia. Meanwhile, we are getting this one farm here. We are going into a warden first here in the night elf versus human. I've often expected Demon Hunter, just because Demon Hunter is able to shut down an archmage much more easily. If you guys don't know, what the Warden was recently nerfed. The Shadow Strike ability now costs the standard 75 mana for that damage, as opposed to 65 for so long. We are now getting into an archer down over here. We're gonna train up one, do a shot most likely, and we'll see where Th000 tries to go with this. We are getting one footman trained up, a second footman now being queued up as well by Yumiko. I believe another farm can just be positioned here, and then this will essentially be a complete wall off, perhaps an arcane vault here, in order to build and in order to get a shop up and running. Now, what is going to be happening here as the footman now looking to creep out over here? We are getting another scout farm over here by Yumiko, so Yumiko will be able to keep track of his opponent, and we are going to throw down a fireball, pull back, let the militia tank the Null Warden, so that they absorb all the purges, drop a water elemental, and then the Null Overseer will go after that target, and that water elemental will do exactly what it's supposed to do, take damage. Meanwhile, back over here, we are getting an archer. What is going down? We are getting a warden going after footmen and militia. It was a shadow strike now being blazed down, and now another militia may get destroyed as well. We can see that there is a water elemental and some low hit point militia now returning home, and that is always bad news, as the warden has already gotten off 2 worker kills. Worker kills are not nearly as important in Warcraft 3 as they are in StarCraft 2, but every little bit of damage dealt does hurt your opponent, as the archmage now trying to chase after archers and wardens, getting choked up on those little pigs. Always such an interesting element in Warcraft 3. Ancient of War now being added as well will be able to destroy that scout farm. We do have an Ancient of War down over here, and what will be happening with these archers and this warden? You can now see the archmage trying to clear out this particular creep camp. Will get to level 2, and with level 2 get that all-important brilliance aura. Very important. They're now trying to get damage onto the archmage. Doing a nice shadow meld in order to get more damage. Are we going to perhaps get a shadow strike onto the archmage? Archmage now already taking a lot of damage so far. The warden down to 139 hit points. Has to be very careful, as though not his normal dominant self as of late. So far, I would say Yumiko has the advantage, just because his hero has, I believe, more experience sitting at level 2, and also has been able to keep this up and running, and just pretty much creep without being interrupted. You can see that the water elementals are still being added. Archers now trying to come in as well. Dust of Appearance not being added at all. The archers may try to come in for a creep still, and we'll see what if and when that will happen. As you can see now, the troll shadow priest was picked up by Th000, so Th000 did deny that, and Wanda mana stealing may get picked up. What's going to be happening here? The the warden now trying to run away. It looks like, I believe, Wanda mana stealing is picked up by the archmage. Archmage is in a pretty safe scenario here, as I believe the archmage Perhaps going to try to steal some mana from the Warden. Warden is still in trouble. Shadow Strike now finally hitting down on a Footman. The Footman may get denied. Yes, going to get denied. No experience granted, I believe, as the Warden now trying to finally back off. There are still one low hit point Archer. The Archer now breaking Shadow Meld. So one of the Archers breaking Shadow Meld and then re-engaging once more. We are going to see the Warden sitting at level 1 attempt to try to take down this farm or perhaps buy some critical items. Yes, it is going to be a boost of speed. Very, very important to be able to catch up to your opponent's army and chase down any fleeing units. Almost level 3 on Yumiko. I believe Yumiko will be trying to travel into this green creep camp here and try to take it down or get some additional, and for that additional experience, also pick up a boot of speed and dust of appearance to make sure that there is no more hidden archery now coming in. You can now see the Huntress now trying to go after this Troll Berserker. The Troll Berserker is taking a lot of damage so far, and now the Archer down to 45. Is it going to be enough? One more shot will do it, and yes, level 3, and now dropping a Water Elemental. The Shadow Strike was cast onto the Archmage as the Huntress is now being forced to pull back. You can see that Arcane Tower is up. Still, we do not have an Arcane Vault though, so no healing, no Clarity Potions coming in from Yumiko at all. Meanwhile, we are going into Tree of Ages. We already have the Hunter's Hall. We'll see what will be happening next as we finally are getting some creeping out from Th000. Th000 desperately behind in hero level. He is not behind in economy, but he is slightly ahead in tech, and we'll see if that's going to matter very much as the Ancient of War quickly roots. I believe, no, was that a Shadow Strike? I thought I saw a Shadow Strike, but it doesn't look like. There you go, Shadow Strike onto a very low hit point Water Elemental. The Water Elemental may get taken down. The Water Elemental gives a lot of experience. So yes, level 2 on the Warden now. Perhaps we'll get a Fan of Knives as another Shadow Strike hitting another Footman. The Footman now down to 76, 66 hit points. There is a little bit of that damage over time element. So we'll see if that Footman does get taken down. Yes, he does get denied by Yumiko. So Yumiko getting off that last and final hit. And it looks like, oh, that Footman does get destroyed by Th000. So Th000 able to get a little bit of experience there as he now continues to chase after even further. That level 2 Water Elemental, however, now turning back around, perhaps going to shut down those Huntresses. Ancient of War going to reroute him or unroot himself, go after these Null Wardens as we may get to close to level 3 on that Warden. The Warden now being very smart, deciding to get some Moon Juice, get some more energy or mana, and also get some more hit points, quickly dropping off the Circlet of Nobility first, and now going to go ahead and pick back up those items after using a Clarity Potion, most likely. Yep, there's the Clarity Potion, and now finally picking up those items once again. You can see that the Huntresses are going to clear out this Scout farm over here. The Footmen am now going to be accompanied with a Beastmaster along with that Archmage. So we are going to have a lot of Quill Beasts, a lot of piercing damage to shut down all of these Huntresses. As the Beastmaster now going to be coming in. This is going to be very, very bad, and it's a very bad creep jack indeed. Now perhaps going to try to focus down that Troll Warlord, a very low hit point Huntress now trying to pull away. Huntress is getting ensnared. It looks like the Troll Warlord will get taken down. Level 3 on the Warden for only a +1 armor aura, so that is not going to be very helpful at all. This one Huntress running all the way around the back forest in order to get back home. It looks like it will be able to do so as another ensnare and hitting down another unit, and this Ancient of War getting caught a little bit out of position. Gonna try to deal some damage, push some damage back as it does get focused down. Water Elemental now focusing down a low hit point Huntress. Huntress down to 81 hit points, and it looks like it may get stopped. Is it going to be able to, yes, drink some Moon Juice and get back up to full hit points once more? We are sitting on double Ancient of Lords down over there, so perhaps we will get some Dryads with Abolish Magic in order to shut down those Water Elementals and all of these summons. Warden still trying to fight back. Wand of Mana stealing more energy or more mana onto that Archmage. Archmage is going to drop another Water Elemental after a Fan of Knives comes in. The Beastmaster is dangerously low, now transferring the Scroll of Town portal over in order to be able to teleport away. Gonna now finish off that one little Quill Beast, as now the Huntress quickly using some Clarity Potions and also using a Nightstone or a Moonstone in order to refill up all of these Moonwells with more and more mana juice, allowing for better healing. We can now see that the Warden, sitting at level 3, does have a Scroll of Healing, does have a lot of units close to him, and we'll see what will be happening here. We also see that there are still Ogre Warriors here, so perhaps that will get creeped out, but Th000 does not have that large of an army, sitting at 27 over 50, compared to Yumiko's 42 over 42. Perhaps going to try to pick up some creeps. Yes, picks up 2 Trolls, a Troll Berserker, and a Troll Shadow Priest to re-engage. This one Ancient of War taking a lot of damage, a Scroll of Healing, and now the Ancient of War trying to run back. There are some sorceresses involved in this group as well, and this is not looking good at all. Dryads are finally being trained up. You can take a look at Th000. Th000 does have about 300 gold, but will he be able to get all of those important units is the key question. We are going to get a Fan of Knives, a lot of damage dealt across all of those casters. One militia does get taken down, but the Huntresses unable to really provide enough support. That Warden down to 106 hit points, and another Abolish Magic may be enough to finish off this Water Elemental. Yes, it does get taken down here. This one Troll Shadow Priest trying to run away. It may get denied. No, not denied at all, feeding even more experience as we are now going into Dryads. Dryads, are we researching the Abolish Magic is a question. Back over here, another Fan of Knives. Yumiko in a little bit of trouble. Is he going to be able to scroll a Town Portal out? There is a lot of slow to be had. Huntresses getting destroyed a little bit and continually as we are now getting into a level 2 Beastmaster. Huntress desperately trying to, the Warden trying to run away. Huntress is now finally getting the Q to run away as well, as the towers have now been completed. So triple guard towers are now up. Militia and the peasants are trying to repair all of these guard towers down over here. Very low hit point. Dryad getting destroyed, as I believe Yumiko building into his opponent's base, going to be able to use these towers offensively and shut down Th000's production. We are getting into some more Dryads, but Dryads are very weak to towers. And Th000 now in a bit of trouble. That Quill Beast taking a lot of damage so far. Will it be enough as the units are now continuing to turn around? It looks like this one Quill Beast getting healed back, and this Huntress is now very, very slow. Going to be in a bit of an issue there as that Huntress tries to make its way into the backfield. We are getting more and more Dryads, but those Water Elementals, along with the Troll Berserkers of Yumiko, may be able to shut them down. Was that a Staff of Sanctuary? I don't know. We are getting more and more. No, it was not a Staff of Sanctuary, so Staff of Preservation used once more, but things are not looking good for Samdan at all. I believe Yumiko definitely has the hero advantage. He has a lot of the advantages going into this battle right now. Samdan now just trying to run away. It looks like he will be able to get back to those Moonwells, but unless he uses another Moonstone and also this back Moonwell, I cannot see how he can really fend off this attack at all. Dryad still engaging and finishing off the rest of the Quill Beast. There are still casters here. More towers being added. The towers simply have to be ignored as a Spellbreaker joins in on the fight. Spellbreaker now going after the Warden. Warden dangerously low, now using a Potion of Healing to re-engage. There's a Fan of Knives to get even more damage across even more of those caster units, but the Spellbreakers are immune to magic. Quickly trying to shut down this Warden. The Warden down to 132 hit points, trying to run away. It looks like it will be able to, ever so barely, but a couple of Dryads do get destroyed in the retreat once again. More Dryads are still being added to this army still. The Warden sitting at level 4 perhaps will be able to fight this army back. Really, what needs to happen is those Dryads need to start abolishing magic and finish off those Water Elementals. And there you go, finally getting some abolished magics to give even more experience to the Warden. The Warden may get to level 5 compared to the level 3 and level 2. The Warden is currently using a Clarity Potion, going to heal back up. You can see that those Dryads over here trying to pick and choose their fight, trying to maximize the amount of damage. We are going to have a Wisp make their way down over here. Are we going to try to clear out? No, not going to clear out that creep camp at all. So the battle is still ensuing. Even the Ancient of Wonders trying to join in, wanting to make sure that they can win this upcoming battle. Now, these trees are going to uproot and change their locations. A very long epic battle so far as those Dryads try to perhaps focus down that Sorceress. We are getting a couple slows getting abolished magic as well. We are sitting on 5 Dryads. More Dryads still being added as the Beastmaster still seen at level 2, and the Archmage now seen at level 3. Fan of Knives quickly being used. Level 5 on that Warden. Warden may be able to use a Potion of Healing and perhaps try to use another Clarity Potion as well. Is it going to be enough? Not enough for a strike as the Spellbreakers come in and do that feedback damage. this allowing the Warden to cast Shadow Strike or Fan of Knives. Clarity Potion once again now being used. This one Huntress is dangerously low, gonna be Abolish Magic. We'll see how it's gonna go down, as this Huntress does get destroyed by a tower. So a lot of these towers have been getting a lot of the kills, so no experience has been given. Warden now trying to push in, and another Fan of Knives taking down a lot of those casters once again, but a slow was cast onto that Warden. Warden now dangerously low on hit points once again, down to half hit points, even though it was full just a couple seconds ago. We are going to get even more of those, excuse me, more of these peasants. Unless they get healed up, another Fan of Knives may shut them all down. More moonwells being established over here, another high or healing party in the back. Th000 doing a great job just trying to stay in this game right now. You can see that the Tree of Ages is getting very, very low, as we are now moving into a blacksmith. So we may be trying to go for perhaps the rifleman, in order to counter the sheer number of dryads that we've been seeing. A quick hide over here. Dust of Appearance now used. Th000 now trying to back off, going to be using a Scroll of Town portal, and it's going to get canceled. So I don't know how this is all going to work out. The Wisps need to move out. They need to perhaps detonate onto that. Yes, going to be able to detonate, mass detonate. Fan of Knives now moving in, going to Shadow Meld, as we are going to have another Dust of Appearance, and this is the worst opportunity, but we'll be able to barely escape out. Yes, it looks like the Warden at level 5 able to barely escape and now make another play. So nicely done, keeping the hero alive. We need to get another Clarity Potion, perhaps using also these Moonwells over here off to the north. No additional mining coming in from Th000. So Th000 down to 22 food. Meanwhile, Yumiko sitting at 47. He can just play it very, very conservatively and still take this game. The Ancient of Lores have backed off considerably. We are now sitting on essentially no more minerals at all. The Tree of Life has been rebuilt, so yes, I believe Th000 will be able to try to reestablish his expansion over here, or reestablish his base over here. Where is that? A Warden cannot gain any more experience. I just would like to know where she is at this stage in the game. You can now see that the Dryad's going to finish off. The Warden is over here, unable to get any more experience since she is at level 5, but a Pendant of Energy on that Warden, and that is always a very, very dangerous scenario. The Warden will be able to Fan of Knives and Shadow Strike as much as she wants. You can see that the Ancient of Wonders has been destroyed. Still a couple of Ancient of Lores need to be pulled back, and it looks like perhaps they will uproot. No, they are not going to uproot. They're just going to stand there and fight back the old-fashioned way while rooted. No, they are finally rooting. So yeah, I take it back. They are going to be rooting once again. The Tree of Life reestablishing and re-entangling that gold mine. There is still one Moonwell back over here. 77 Moon Juice will be lost forever, as the peasants now finishing this off. We are going to have some mortar teams now added to Yumiko's army. We are at Keep. We are not at Tier 3, so there are not going to be any fragmentation shards. So we'll see how effective they are against those Dryads. The AoE effect not nearly as high, so those Dryads are able to take a little bit more shots, but Dryads are low on hit points as well, as we now see the mortar teams starting to finally push in over here. The Ancient of Lore taking one quick shot. We'll see what is going to happen with the rest of these mortar teams trying to clear out this one particular Ancient of Lore. That Ancient of Lore will uproot itself, does take reduced damage when it is uprooted. Since it is not a fortified building, going to eat some trees in order to gain more hit points and then continue to move along his merry way. Mortar team's now pushing through. Dryad's now going to try to engage back over here. Mortar team's getting some focus down, and now in comes this Warden. The Warden, Fan of Knives and a Shadow Strike. The Archmage dangerously low, down to 158. Now an invisibility being cast, very nicely done. Another Fan of Knives may be coming in. There's another Fan of Knives. Doesn't hit the Archmage though. There is a little bit of Shadow Strike damage still being dealt over here. So what is going to be happening as the Mortar team now takes another round of attacks? You can see that the Archmage just hiding off right there, getting a little bit lucky as those Dryads being forced to pull away. The Archmage at level 4 still giving Brilliance Aura. No, not giving Brilliance Aura, since it is in fact invisible. You can now see the Archmage perhaps going to try shut down the Spellbreaker. Will give level 6 to the Warden, and that is going to be very, very bad news. No, not going to be able to finish off in time, as the Warden is still almost 14, only 14 experience away to get to level 6. That would mean an Avatar of Vengeance. Avatar of Vengeance, very, very difficult to deal with. Picking up a Scroll of Healing. There are, I believe, no Moonwells are over here, but there is no Moon Juice in them at all, as Tho is starting to mine once again. Train up, I believe, perhaps some bears would be very useful in order to cast some rejuvenation. Very low hit point Dryad over here. You're going to try to clear out creep camps in order to get gold at this point, as he is not going to be able to get any more experience. There are double Ancient of Lores over here. This one particular Moonwell will get destroyed, and I believe that is going to be all she wrote. The next battle about to come into play. Invisibility once again on the Archmage. Archmage now once again going to try to re-attack. Level 6 onto the Warden. The Warden now casts an Avatar and going to be focusing down many of those units, and this is the absolute nightmare. The Avatar Vengeance able to get off a lot of damage, and any unit that is destroyed, you can once again recast and get even more Spirit of Vengeances as another unit getting destroyed. So Yumiko looking to just push in over here, and you can see a lot of damage being dealt once even further. More and more of these Spirit of Vengeances, they are immune to damage as long as wow, so Yumiko GG there. So as long as the Spirit of Vengeance is up, as long as the Avatar of Vengeance is up, those Spirit of Vengeances cannot get destroyed. So what you can do is you can just constantly creep out, get more skeletons, and then start suiciding those Spirit of Vengeances into towers, into Spellbreakers, and into other units as well. I think that game was a little bit closer. You guys will need to rewind it. I think Yumiko was the one that said GG. But you can take a look at the final scores, the final army counts. They were all very, very even with each other. So that was a very difficult game to call. Perhaps one of the closest Warcraft 3 matches I've cast in a while. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.